Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lisa Jane and I just want to thank you for clicking on this video and hopefully subscribing down below. Today's video is going to be, you probably can see all the books around me in the background, it is going to be my entire physical TBR. So I'm going to be going through each book very quickly and just showing you what I have on my TBR right now. What I would love for you to do is, if you see a book that you think I really should read, please let me know in the comments down below and I can try and get to that book. I've had some of these on my shelf since 2024, I want to say early 2024. So, you know, I am trying to get through them. However, it takes me a little bit longer. So I think that's all that needs to be said. Like I say, behind me my bookshelves are completely empty because I want to reorganise everything as well, which won't be in this video. I am going to start with the pile right next to me here, and what I'm going to do is now and again I'll probably pause and then come back to you with the next pile because I am going to have to move around and reach all the books. I just actually can't believe how many books I've got sitting around me right now. So without further ado, let's get on with it. The first book is Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. This will be my first book and I'm really excited to read this one. I just haven't got round to it yet. My next book is Falling for You by Emily Maple. I bought this one purely because it's an autumnal read and I thought I could read that in the autumn months. Another book I bought because of the cover is Secrets at Maple Syrup Farm by Rebecca Raisin. This is gorgeous with the pumpkins and the autumn leaves. Then we have I can't think what the series is called. Oh, Love Light Farm series by B.K. Borison. I do have the fourth book somewhere in this pile. It's probably in with the Christmas books. So we have In the Weeds, Mixed Signals and Business Casual. And I think they all take part over the different seasons. So I'd love to get around to them. I then have Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I read about, I want to say 50 plus pages of this book and I couldn't get into it. So please let me know whether you think I should give this one another try or maybe it might have to go on an unhaul pile. We then have Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I've not read anything by this author, but I am keen to give this one a go. And then the last book in this pile is Hot Ex-Boyfriend by Carly Bloom. Not read anything by this author. It was £3 in the works and it looks like a fun, silly time at Halloween. So that is pile one. I will then bring this pile towards me. And we have the Ballad of Never After and A Curse for True Love. This is part of, I can't think what the series is called. I think it's Once Upon a Broken Heart series. The first book is Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I've read the first one and I've got these two to read. Something is just not making me pick these up and I don't know what it is. So please let me know what you think. We then have 3 books. They look like little novellas, almost. They're tiny, by Holly Black. We've got Tith, Valiant and Ironside. These were a car boot find. They're in excellent condition and I think they're just some like short stories. So I definitely want to get round to them. I then have Night Weaver by R.M. Gray. I think this one's set at sea from the look of the cover. And yeah, I just haven't got round to it, so that's another one. We then have The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. And again, I've not got round to this one, but I think it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling or a reimagining of that story. Then we shall move on to this pile right next to me here. So We have Sarah Adams' When in Rome series. I've only got 2 books, I think, in that series, and I haven't read them yet. I picked them up really cheaply from 66 Books back in the summer last year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I've not read anything by Sarah Adams before. We then have Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. I do think I've got another one of hers somewhere in this pile, but yeah, Same Time Next Summer, but I haven't read anything from her. We've got Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I've read a couple of Emily Henry books, can't think what they were called. I know one was Happy Place, and it might have been You and Me on Vacation actually, so I'm looking forward to this one. I think this one is people's favourites, so yeah, that's another good one. We then have 10 Dates. I despise this cover. It's like a glossy cover, but it was actually the synopsis on the back that made me want to pick this one up. This one was from the works and was really cheap, and I don't feel like I want to unhaul it because I feel like I'm really going to enjoy the story, and it's only a short book. We then have Jane Fallon, and this is Just Got Real again. I've read a couple of Jane Fallon books and really enjoyed them. It might just be my age group, but yeah, they were a good time, and this one was bought just because I liked her other ones, and I've had this one for a very, very long time. Then we've got Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I think this might be a spin-off of one of her other books, which I haven't got. However, I have had to go at starting this and didn't gel very well with it, so this could be a potential unhaul, but we will see. We then have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. This is part of a series. I don't know which one it is. She has a couple now, but I wanted to go back. I read Just for the Summer and loved it, so I thought I'd go back and read her other books. We then have 3 Paige Toon books. I read 7 Summers by Paige Toon, so I wanted to give her backlist a go. So we've got If You Could Go Anywhere, 5 Years From Now, and The Sun in Her Eyes. I've not read any Ali Hazelwood, and I don't know whether this was the best one to pick up for my first read, but I have Not in Love, which is one of her STEM romances, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. We then have the Lakefront Billionaires series. Well, I have books 1 and 2. I can get these on Kindle Unlimited as well, so it's whether I like them. They are chunky books. Let me know what you think. We then have a couple of books by Kristin Hannah. Kristin Hannah's The Nightingale was fabulous, and I really wanted to read a little bit more of her work. So I have Winter Garden and The Four Winds, so they're very different. We then have Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and yeah, I've not read anything from this author. This author is male. I think in a previous video I may have thought this was a female author, but it is actually a male author, so I do apologise, and yeah, I'm really keen to get round to this one. We then have Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I found this, it's a bit battered. It was in a like free little pile at I think it was in a supermarket. So yeah, I picked it up. And then we have a new book that I've literally not long bought, and it is My Friends by Fredrik Backman. I've read no books by Fredrik Backman, so this will be my first one. And we have the last 2 books in the Chestnut Spring series. So we have Reckless and Hopeless. Obviously I've read the other 3. They're upstairs and on my other bookshelf where the red books go. So these are to be read. I then have Promise Me Not and Trust Me Always. These are part of the Boys of Avix series. So the first book was Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. And I I really did like that one actually, but I've just not been in the mood to pick the next ones up, but we will leave them on the TBR for now. And then another book I picked up at 66 Books was The Italian Garden by Charlotte Betts. I don't think this has very high ratings on Goodreads, but the book synopsis sounded quite intriguing and made me want to pick it up, so we'll keep it on for now. And we've got Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. Again, another book by her, but I haven't read it yet. Then we have The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. Again, this one I think gets really good reviews, but I've just not been in the mood to pick it up. And then we have 2 Catherine Centre books, and I don't think I've read any Catherine Centre, and they are The Rom-Commers and Hello Stranger, and these were really cheap in the works. So we obviously have Love Like Farms, which is from that other series we were talking about before. I have The Gingerbread Cafe by Anita Faulkner, Christmas for Beginners by Carol Matthews. I have Christmas at Hollybush Farm by Jo Thomas. Sarah Morgan, The Christmas Book Club. Apparently this one is brilliant and it's one I definitely want to get round to reading this Christmas time. And then I have Christmas at the Borrow a Bookshop. Yeah, Christmas at the Borrow a Bookshop. So yeah, so we have 5 Christmas reads. So I need to be really mindful this year when I'm picking up Christmas books, because I've got actually 6 books here, then 5 and Love Like Farms to read. So really I shouldn't be picking up too many more. I'm going to then do the classics. So I have, which are in beautiful editions, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And it's just gorgeous. It's like a material cover. And I also have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. We have the Magnolia Parks universe. We have all 5 books. I haven't started any of these yet. Please let me know if you think I should read these, because I just haven't, even though I really, really want to read them, I just haven't had the urge to pick them up, which is quite sad. We have Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. A series, but I don't know what it's called, and it's Krista and Becca Ritchie, and it's called Dishonestly Yours and Destructively Mine. I think there is another book in this series, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I've got them 2 to read. And then we will move on to my thriller books very quickly. So we have The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. Only One Left by Riley Sager. I've only read 1 book by him and I did quite enjoy it. The Bride by John Nichol. I have The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Love a bit of Lisa Jewell, just haven't read this book. Glass House by Eve Chase. Love the cover of this one, and this is one of the very first ones I picked up when I got back into reading again. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get to this or not. I can't make my mind up. Let me know what you think. All Her Fault by Andrea Mara. So yeah, I've read, I can't think what the book was called. It was one with the train on the front. I can't think what it was called, but I really enjoyed that one, so I thought I'd give this one a go. I can't think what this one, these are The Infernal Devices. We have Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. So I have them. I also have the complete Infernal Devices, which is all of these books here. And they make a picture on the side. They're lovely books. But I've not read any of Cassandra Clare's work. And I know a few people who've read them recently and absolutely love them. So yeah, we've got City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls and City of Heavenly Fire. And I know there's a certain way to read them, so I'm going to check that out. And then I have some books. These are part of the Shadowhunters world, but I think they're like just individual books that fit in between the series. So we have the Bane Chronicles, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and Ghosts of the Shadow Market. I have Chain of Iron. This was a really nice edition. I picked it as collector's first edition that I picked up in 66 books really cheaply, and I just couldn't leave it there. So yeah, I've got that one as well. Going back to my childhood, we picked up the entire box set of Narnia. I loved Narnia. I loved the first film. So we have 7 books in here, which, if you can see the titles rather than me reading through them all. But yeah, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was just like one of them films that really sticks with you. So we've got that. And then I'm going to start going through my hardback pile here. So we have Fallen Gods by Rachel Van Dyken. The Ordeals by Rachel Greenlaw. The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. Couldn't remember that one then. We have Never by Jessa Hastings. This one is very low on Goodreads. I would love to know what people think. Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen. The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I loved The Spell Shop. I need to get round to this one. They are like cosy fantasies though, so don't be expecting huge plots. It's just very much the atmosphere they create. I love it. Then we have Amber Hamilton's 7 Deadly Thorns. Neverthorn by Shannon Mayer. To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. That one's getting a lot of hype right now. Alchemized by Senlin Yu, which is a brick. Diabound by Sable Sorensen. And that's another big book. For Whom the Bell Tolls by Jay-Z Lynn. I've not heard much about this. Please let me know if you've read it and what you think. I have A Witch's Guide to Magical Housekeeping by Sangu Mandana. On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolan. And this is part of the Bloodwing Academy series. Then have part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. This is where I'm up to with it. We have the Powerless series. So I've read Powerless, and I have Powerful the novella, Reckless and Fearless. I just need to get Fearful and then we will be complete. But I really enjoyed Powerless and I can't wait to continue the series. I then literally, as I'm filming this, picked this one up today from a fantasy bookshop which is local to me, called Paper and Word. It was beautiful. If you live on the Wirral or within Cheshire and you fancy a drive out to a really lovely bookshop, I highly recommend. And this is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Then have the last 2 books that I haven't read yet in the Boys of Tommen series, which is Taming 7 and Releasing 10. Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was another book that I picked up in that free little book collection that was in one of the supermarkets on holiday last year. So it is a bit dog-eared, but I thought I'm going to read it and see if I like it, and then maybe if I want to continue we could get the better copies. But also sometimes it's a little bit of history. That's what I say. We have the 3 books in the Crescent City series that are out. I'm up to Throne of Glass at the minute, so I've read all of ACOTAR and I'm halfway through Throne of Glass. We have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. Let me know what you think of that one. We have The Atlas 6 and The Atlas Paradox. I know there's a 3rd book, but I believe these are quite hard to get into. So please let me know what you think. These are by Olivia Blake. I've not read from her before, so I don't know her style of writing. But yeah, they're an either love or a hate from what I'm seeing. So it might be worth a try, but I'd love your opinions on it. And Victoria Aveyard's Red Queen. I'm not going to lie to you, I think this might be going in the unhaul pile, only because this was the original, this came first, but I believe this is very, very similar to Powerless, and I don't feel like I want to read the same story twice. Unfortunately for Victoria Aveyard, I did read Powerless first, so therefore I'm not sure. If you really think I should read this though, please let me know. I'm always up for reading books that you're recommending. Of Flame and Fury by Michaela Bridge. This is Phoenix Racing, and yeah, I picked it up, loved the sound of it, just not got round to it. So we have Hooked, Hexed, Crossed, Twisted, Wretched and Scarred. They're not in any particular order, but I believe these are just, they are a series, but they're all standalones within their own right. I don't think there's any crossovers in between, so you can read them in any order. But if you know differently, please let me know. The Mistborn trilogy, or Mistborn Era 1. And I haven't read this yet, but this is going on my book cart, spoiler alert. And the other two are in the box. We have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru. The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This one has been getting a lot of attention recently, and a lot of people are really enjoying it. This one's got the really nice sprayed edges. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This one, the synopsis looks good, however I've not really seen anybody talk about it, and I just don't know whether I'm ever going to get round to it with the sheer amount of books I've got around me right now, but let me know. Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber, but again I think this is quite young, so I don't know whether I'm going to keep it. To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. Discovery of Witches series, I don't know what it's actually called, but I've got all 4 books here, and I think there's another one out now to go with it, but I just haven't bought it yet because I've got all these 4 to read. But let me know what you think of them ones. You should see the pile of books around me right now in front of me that I've shown you already. It's just crazy. We then have A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. I read A Fate Inked in Blood last year. I did quite enjoy it, which is why I've picked up the second one. So that's going on the shelf. We have the popular The Will of the Many. Can't wait to get round to this. This is by James Islington. Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. This one's been getting lots of love on the internet. Dark Birch Academy by Krista Graves. I think this is like an indie book, but please let me know if you've read it, because I'd love to know what people think. I love academy settings, school settings, that kind of thing, so I really do think I'm going to like that one. The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind. I've recently picked up these books, so we have In the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy. And then literally like this week I've picked up Unearthly by Cynthia Hand and A Dance of Lies by Brittany, is it Brittany Arena? Brittany Arena, yeah. So I've got them too. I have 2 books in the Kingdom of the Wicked series to read. I've read the first one last year, just haven't got round to books 2 and 3, which is Kingdom of the Cursed and Kingdom of the Feared. Must get round to these. The 4 books left in the Throne of Glass series. I know, don't come for me. I've read the first 4 and then I've had such a big break, so getting back into it. But I believe Queen of Shadows is amazing, but then obviously we've got all these beauties down here as well that are supposed to be really, really good, so I will be hopefully getting back into them. Maybe during the summertime, I think, when I've got a bit more time off work, that might work better for me. The Wicked series, so I've got them all by Gregory Maguire. So we've got Wicked, Son of a Witch, A Lion Among Men and Out of Oz. Got all them. I know they're nothing like the films, but I'd still like to give the books a go just to see what I think. Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen and Woven by Gold. So that's books 1 and 2 in that series. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I've got that duet. All the Filthy Rich Vampire books to read, books 1 to 4. And then I've got the Filthy Rich Fae duology, which was Filthy Rich Fae and Filthy Rich Fae Fallen Court. These are also by Geneva Lee. Phantasma and Enchantress by Kaylee Smith. Mixing it up with a bit of sci-fi, we have Scythe and Thunderhead. I know there is The Toll, I think it's called, book 3, but obviously I'm going to try and read books 1 and 2 and see if I like them first. Last 2 books in the Hunger Games series, I've read the newest one, which was Sunrise on the Reaping. I think they're behind me actually. Sunrise on the Reaping, and then I went back and read the Hunger Games and Catching Fire. So we've got to read Mockingjay and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I've then got the whole of the Red Rising books. So we've got the first trilogy and then the second trilogy. I don't know if they're in the right order. Don't take this as the right order. But I've got all 6 books. So we've got Red Rising, Golden Sun, Morning Star. We've got Lightbringer, Iron Gold and Dark Age. Yeah, I don't know what the book order is of these ones. So please do check that. Don't go on the order I've got them there. I've got the Mary E. Pearson first trilogy, which is Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal and The Beauty of Darkness. I've got that trilogy, and then I've also got by Mary E. Pearson, Dance of Thieves, because I picked this one up in 66 books and then was told I need to read all these first. So I've got to make my way through them. Feybound and Cursebound. The covers are beautiful. I'm not quite sure what they're about, but yeah. I love the look of them, and if it's Fae, I'm generally quite intrigued by them, so we've got them to read. This Woven Kingdom trilogy, I know the 4th one is out now to pick up, but I want to see if I like it first. So we have This Woven Kingdom, These Infinite Threads, and All This Twisted Glory. That's right. So yeah, all 3 books. They're beautiful as well. They're really nice. I have book 2 in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I need to find books 1 and 3 because I have Siege and Storm, which I picked up from 66 books really cheaply. I've then got Belladonna and Foxglove, so I need Wisteria, and I think there's a novella called Holly, but again I want to see what I think of these before I pick up any more. We then have Nectar of the Wicked and Wrath of the Damned by Ella Fields. I know Ellen loves these books, absolutely loves these books, so I am really intrigued to see what I think. 6 of Crows and the Crooked Kingdom duology, which is obviously comes after the Grishaverse. So I did think if I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy first, then I can go into these because I believe they give you a bit more of a setup of the world, which I really enjoy getting into. And have 2 by Victoria Aveyard. I've heard nothing about these, and I think this is books 1 and 3. So I have Fate Breaker and Realm Breaker, but I think this Blade something in the middle, book number 2. But yeah, I picked these up from 66 books last year, really cheaply, and I just thought they looked like a kind of series I might be interested in. I have the Natural series. I just haven't got the one. Is it with the... No, that's the one with the dice. I can't think. There's a book missing out of this series. Please let me know if you know what it is. But I have the Naturals, Killer Instinct and All In, and there's a 4th one. I've got books 1, 2 and 3, but apparently these are really good, and I know they are YA, but I don't mind that sometimes. And that brings us to the end of all my books. So what I'm going to do now is top them all up for you, and then I will come back with an overall of how many books I've got left to read. Drum roll please. The amount of books I have on my physical TBR that need to be read is 195 books. That may not be a lot to some, but it may be a huge amount to other people. I know that's quite a big amount. And what I'd like to do is really reduce that to under 100, because what I don't want is me buying these books and then becoming or getting to a point where I don't want to read them anymore, because that's really, really sad. And, you know, they're beautiful condition. I look after my books. So, yeah. I am going to now do some reorganisation on my bookshelves. I am going to be starting a series on this channel, like a version of TBR takedown videos, where I start choosing some of my physical TBR to read, because, like I say, I don't really want to go. I don't mind having hundreds of books in the house as long as I've read them, you know, quite a lot of them, but I don't really want to go over that 200 barrier. There's something that keeps telling me you've got to bring this total down. So that is my challenge. I need to get it under 100. It's probably not going to happen this year. I read about 60 to 65 books a year. So I know that's a big ask for me. However, yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. It is about 30 plus minutes long. I've got some editing to do, obviously. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because obviously every time I upload something, you will get notified that a video's gone live. I'd love to build this community a little bit more. And yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.